very good morning to all of you. Happy to see you again as we are proceeding in this journey to know ourselves, to get the knowledge of the self. Only very few persons in the world they seek. All the others are living within whatever knowledge they have accumulated. But a few people, they have the urge, the inner urge to find out what is the truth. They are very few in number, but they are there. But the drawback is, it is not you can call it a straitjacket method. See, like we are accustomed to the educational pattern where the child goes through from LKG to higher standards. It's not a straitjacket process. It's a process of unknown, so the path is also unknown. The master says it is a pathless path. If it is a pathless path, then how to go about it? We are used to traveling in a path. If it is a pathless path, then how are we to go about it? See, that is where the essence of seeking comes in. The essence of seeking is to start with a basic conviction that I do not know and I want to know. If this basic conviction is there, then the first step opens. And thereafter the steps open by themselves. You can be sure about it. This is a personal experience. This is a personal experience that the steps automatically open by themselves. When you are firm with your conviction that I do not know, I want to know more. I want to know more. I am not talking about the external world, the knowledge of the external world. That is available there, plenty. That we are not worried about that at all. The seekers who want to know the truth about ourselves, they are the people who have to have a firm conviction that they have to know, that we have to know about that ultimate truth. Or at least let us travel towards that ultimate truth. If at all, even if we are not, sort of capable of achieving that reality, achieving the truth, let us at least know the way forward to in attaining the reality. That happens only in the inner world. So this firm conviction and the first step is important, and after that the steps open up by themselves. That is what has been experienced, and I am sure that everyone will do that. Everyone will be able to follow that pathless path. Now, having said that, let us continue what we left yesterday, where we left yesterday, regarding the mind. The mind is solely responsible for all the in simple terms, problems in the world. All. There is not a single problem which is not caused by the mind. If there are 140 to 150 crores of people in the world, there are not people in the world, there are 140 to 150 minds in the world. Barring a few who have got the truth of disposing of their mind or destroying their mind, maybe in some thousands. So you have to detect them because they are without the mind. That is, they are with the mind, but they do not give importance to the mind. It is as if it is a sort of unwanted luggage. You can say that. They have a mind, but they treat it as an unwanted luggage. If it is an unwanted luggage, will you carry it? In fact, you will find, how to get rid of it. How to get rid of the unwanted luggage. because it is not wanted at all. Then why should I carry in my travel? It adds my burden. So that is how it is. So the people are with their minds, but they have already discarded it. They do not give even a small importance to it. But for the knowledge which is part of the mind, which is required for the purpose of living on a day-to-day basis. That's all. So that way, the causes for all the problems in the world are because of the mind, and so we are going to see how this mind is the sort of culprit. Now here we just have to have an assistance from JK, because he is a man who was primarily as a he is not a religious teacher, but we call him as a religious teacher by force of habit. By force of habit we call him a religious teacher, but he is not a religious teacher. He was against religions, but he didn't say it openly. He has got that unique capacity, unique nature, where he doesn't harm a single human being by his words. So he will never criticize anyone, never. The entire teachings of JK, if you take, there will not be a single criticism against any organization, any setup, any man, any religion, anything. That is very rare to find. Very rare to find among human beings. And of course, there are parallels are there, and there are many. But for our immediate context, we can take JK's help in the sense how he has for the purpose of understanding how he has divided the mind into two parts, and one he calls it a psychological mind, another he calls it as a intellect mind, that is the knowledge mind. Now, as we were telling earlier, the psychological mind grows up and becomes entrenched in the mind within us. That also we do not know. I don't know. For myself, I am not really sure whether the mind is inside or outside, because mind can be outside also, because it is in a formless state. And with the technology available now, with a remote operation, it should be possible for our cosmic creation of the mind is nothing but a cosmic creation, and definitely they will have more powers than the human beings, and so the mind can as well be in the outer space and control the individual human beings or the individual living creatures. It is not necessary that the mind has to be inside this manifested form at all. That is poor technology. You have to have the power inside something which has to operate that. That is very poor, very primitive technology. The cosmic technology is different. The cosmic technology can operate you from a far off place, millions of miles away. That is the technology. When you can do it, you can operate everything. Human beings can operate everything by remote control. Can't the creator or the creation operate the entire life force from a distance, from a very long distance? It's quite possible. So it is difficult to say whether the mind is inside or outside the body. So we will leave it at that. We will assume, yes, there is a mind. Let it be anywhere, inside or outside. The effect is same. The mind operates and its effect is same. So let it be. Okay. So the mind grows as long as we grow from the childhood, and all these perceptions, whatever has been perceived through the five senses, all are recorded there. Completely it is recorded, and it forms the basis. It forms the bedrock of the human activity. Mind is the bedrock of human activity, and everybody acts according to what is recorded inside the mind. And it's a huge memory bank, and it records everything. And of course, many of them get deleted. Memories of inconsequence, they get deleted. That may be an active memory as long as you perform it, and a desired memory till it is done, till that activity is completed. But once it is done, it becomes inconsequential. There is no need to, store that memory at all. No, just for example, do I need to remember what are all I ate during the past 74 years? My age is 74. Do I need to remember what are all I ate in my 74 years of life? Is it necessary? Does it give any weight to my knowledge? Or does it anyway benefit me? Nothing. It is inconsequential. I don't need to remember that at all. So it gets faded, it gets deleted. And I do not make any attempt also to retain it. It is not required. So the memories of inconsequence need not be recalled or need not be recorded, and they get deleted by themselves. But other matters of consequence, they remain, and that is, we think they are consequence, and we retain it, and we recall it and retain it. We recall it and give more strength. We add fuel to it and then make it more and more stronger, because we think they are important. And whatever is not important, we do not pay any attention at all, and they get deleted by themselves. This is how the mind, the psychological mind, it is how it is built. Brick by brick, it is built. Memories, and memories. It is nothing else. That is the mind built upon. And we have also seen that mind is not, it is a manifested form. It is formless. But without a form, how can it exist? Now, quantum physics comes to your support. It says the matter can be in either form, matter or wave form, at the same time. You can't just say this is in a matter form or this is in a wave form. It exists in both the ways. That is what latest science says. So that way the mind, we can accept, yes, it is there, and it controls us. Okay. Yes. So the mind, which is in a formless form, it helps you in all ways to do things. That is, it helps you to do all your activities from the intellectual mind. That is the knowledge. That mind, the psychological mind, is a recording of all the happenings associated with the emotions, and they all get recorded in the psychological mind. And whatever knowledge we have derived out of these experiences are stored in the knowledge. See, there is no hard and fast division of psychological and intellectual mind. They are there only, for a sort of understanding, it is mentioned as they are separate. They may be intertwined, right? We do not know. They may be overlapping. So they are there, but it is there. But separately, let us understand there is a block of knowledge, there is a block of experiences. This block of experiences are past memories. And this block of psychological memory is the past memories and the memories of incidents and happenings, whatever happened in your life. And there, whatever has happened, along with that, the corresponding emotions which arose in you due to those happenings and incidents, they are also recorded along with that. The knowledge part of the mind is only purely knowledge. The purely knowledge. There is no emotion involved. There is no sort of, the happenings. Whatever the experiences are not stored there. Experiences are in the psychological path, but the knowledge gained out of that experience in the knowledge path, in the knowledge mind. This is how it is stored. So whatever we learn, it is stored in the knowledge part. And that is even if the child starts eating and then taking the food and putting it into the mouth, the whole here, not this whole or not this whole or not this whole, whatever it learns by putting food in the mouth is a knowledge, and that once the child learns, it is recorded there in the knowledge part of the mind, and there, then it becomes inarticulate memory. Inarticulate memory. In the sense, inarticulate memory is the one which makes you to do things by itself, without your coming to into the picture at all. That is how we function. Most of the routine work and all that, we do it by out of inarticulate memory. They are knowledge, but they are inarticulate. You don't need to do anything. You just, you go and then do it. That's all. And it is done. And you can direct your attention towards something else while doing this particular work. Like when you're driving, the driving happens automatically because you are already experienced, and the drive, you just go through the roads wherever you have to go and all that. The driving happens, when the driving happens, your mind is preoccupied with something else regarding your, say, your family or your office or other matter friends. So many things that can get involved, and it is being used to remember those things and to discuss, analyze everything while driving. The driving happens. So the inarticulate memory takes care of the driving because the body has got the intelligence to do that and draws the knowledge from the knowledge part of the mind and then drives it. This is how it happens. Now, these are the two divisions, and whenever you require any work to be done, you recall that particular knowledge and then do the job. A dancer or a musician or a poet or anybody, they draw whenever they have performing, when they are dancing, when they are creating a music or when they are writing a poem, they draw from the knowledge and start writing it. It is voluntary. We have to recall them and then do it. In fact, when doing, while cooking or while we are dancing, that mind is constantly aware that what should be the next step. That step comes from the knowledge. So there is a continuous thinking, continuous recalling from the knowledge part of the mind, intellectual mind, and complete that activity, that is cooking or dancing. Because you just cannot stop that one particular activity, think about it and then do it. Nothing of the sort. It happens continuously. Then only it will be complete. The activity will be complete, and everybody will realize, yes, it is a dance. Yes, it is a cooking. It's a finished product. Of course, cooking, you can stop the work and go about and come back and all that. But I'm just saying, an activity, if it has to be completed in unison, then you have to continuously draw from the intellectual mind that particular knowledge and complete the job. So the job of intellectual mind is only that, to provide you knowledge whenever it is required. And it is done only by recalling. It's very important, just to remember, it's very important. Has to be recalled for performing a job. It does not come by itself. This is antithesis of the psychological mind, where psychological mind functions in two ways. Psychological mind functions in two ways. There, we start thinking about, we recall certain memories and then live with the memories. That's recalling. Now there is another way. There is a thought coming out of that particular memory, but that particular incident, and it comes and occupies you. So there are two ways by which a memory in the psychological mind operates. One, it comes on its own by itself without our knowledge, without our recalling. The two is we recall that certain memories and then we act according to those memories. So the essential difference between a psychological mind and an intellectual mind is that in psychological mind there are two ways of recalling and thinking about it. It's a thinking which happens here. Or it comes by on its own, just like waves of the ocean. The thoughts come by them. Suddenly they will come out of a particular incident. Then you suddenly remember it. Sometimes you just remember that particular incident and then recall the associated details, memories which are recorded there, and then you live with that or you act with that. But in intellectual mind, they will not come by themselves. There will be no thought which coming out of the intellectual mind as a thought comes out of a psychological mind. So when I say, please remember this, when we say thoughts, when we say thoughts, we should remember that they come only from the psychological mind. because there are lots of confusion about this particular aspect, and people get confused about using the word thoughts both for psychological mind and the intellectual mind. There is no need for any confusion. Thoughts come out of psychological mind only. Thoughts originate from psychological mind only. Thoughts emanate from psychological mind only. These thoughts coming out of the psychological mind can happen either ways. Either they come out on their own without our knowledge, or we recall them. This is the only way thoughts come. So thoughts pertain only to the psychological mind. Please remember, intellectual mind has got nothing to do with the thoughts. But there the thinking can happen. You see, you are a particular specialist in a particular field. You possess that specialized knowledge, and which is stored in the intellectual part of the mind. So there, when you recall certain thing, when you are doing a research or when you are doing an analysis, anything, so when you do that, at that time, that particular knowledge, you are able to draw and then work it out. During that period, you may start thinking about it and then trying to expand that limitations of that particular knowledge and go beyond that. By constantly thinking and rethinking about that particular knowledge, you may be able to create a new avenue in the knowledge. You may secure some unknown tips or sparks, so that you will be able to improve that particular knowledge and devise and put it into practice. Scientists do that. Researchers do that. They continuously think and rethink on that particular knowledge and try to find out ways by trial and error. By trial and error method, they go on doing it. That is how they were able to go forward. It is not that they find out straight away from one product to another product. It is not that they simply jump. There is a lot of research and analysis involved, and for that the man has to go on thinking and thinking. So the thinking is essential there in our intellectual mind. When we have to go forward and achieve the perfection as far as the knowledge is concerned. Here in the psychological mind, thinking is a disease. That much only we can say. We will come to that later. Thinking is a disease, because thinking, if we start thinking about the old incidents and old happenings and how you went through those difficult periods, how you went through that most vexatious period, how you were threatened with your own existence and all, so many things, financial, economic, anything. So when you start recalling and start thinking about it, you get into misery. When you go on thinking about it again and again, you become more and more miserable. More and more miserable. And that condition is caused only because you started thinking on multiple times about that particular matter. So the physical and the psychological misery happens directly because you constantly overthink. Repeated thinking, routine thinking, repeated again and again and again and again. That mind has got such a power to make you miserable. It doesn't say, no, don't think, it is enough. Don't say. Does it say? It enables you, goes on feeding you with all those details. So you tend to go on, thinking and all that. Then it becomes, you become depressed. There is a lot of stress, and there are other ways of, and they say so many things, tension, stress, and OCD, this, that. It's all because of overthinking. Overthinking on the psychological mind. This is unwanted thinking. Thinking is not required at all. Thinking is not required at all in the psychological mind. You think in the intellectual mind. That will take you forward. There you attempt multiple thinking on the particular subject, you will go forward. You will get results, which is not known to the people till then. But thinking in the psychological mind will not take you anywhere. On the contrary, it will push you down. You will become more depressed. You will suffer. Mentally you will suffer. And there is a stress factor involved. which causes all sort of physical harm also. Your body will be affected. So the basic understanding is, if you want to be free of mental stress, tension, and or other mind related miseries, you have to do one thing: don't think, don't recall. That is from the psychological mind. These are the two things you have to follow. Do not think at all. Anything on the psychological part of it, the memories part of it. Don't recall any incident. Don't talk about any incident. What has happened in the past is over. I do not want to now talk about it at all, because when you start talking about it, they become more powerful, and whatever plus or minus which happened will come back to life, and they will affect you. So don't recall. But on the contrary, what is happening? Look at the people. Whenever they talk, start talking among themselves, either with the family members or with the friends or relatives or public and all that. We always talk about the past, isn't it? We always talk about the past. We draw from the memory, past memory, and go on saying that this happened and that happened, that fellow did this fellow did that, this was bad, this is good. All the past. 90% of our conversation will be about the past. Remaining 10% will be about the future. So we live in a false world where 90% of the thinking is occupied by the past and 10% of the thinking is occupied by the future. There is no present. Very rarely present is being discussed. It is being discussed, but very rarely. But if you discuss the present, what will happen is your past and future disappears. Your mind and energy is focused only on what you are doing. That will give you better results, best results. If you are, entrenched in the present, where past memories and future imaginations do not have any bearing at all on your on your speech or your action, they will be the best. Because you have not taken any help from the past. And you don't start visualizing things which are imaginary, which may never occur also. In fact, which may create a fear also on account of possible failures. So that is how, if at all we have to be free from tension, stress and all that, if at all we want to be free of all these mental diseases which cause innumerous harms to the public at large, where they seek the help of allopathy medicine, it is just a simple treatment is this: do not think about the past, do not think about the future. Just be in the present, just do your job with a calm mind, that's all. If you do that, if you are able to do it for one day, you will feel the effect on the next day. You will get an effect on the next day, and your body also will improve. Because the body and mind are both, even though they are supposed to be separate, they are related. There is a continuous transfer of technology from mind to body and body to mind. Transfer of memory, this thing, energy. Maybe a positive energy or maybe a negative energy. They both, exchange. There is a barter system. It goes on. So when we totally, are devoid of thinking, then the mind is not able to pass on any negative energies to the body at all. It can't, because it is never thought and it doesn't happen. There is no luggage in the hand to transfer it. That's all. When we don't think about the past or draw anything from the past, the mind doesn't have anything to transfer it to the body. A negative energy, a negative emotion, nothing. When it is not transferred, what happens is the body becomes more and more positive, and it starts healing itself out of its own misery, it will come out of stress and tensions and depressions and all that. It can come out because it is not being fed. See, depression, stress, and misery, all these tragic, all negative emotions, they multiply because we pay more attention to it. We direct our mental energy to them and go on repeatedly thinking about it, and because of which they become more and more powerful, and in the end result is the body gets affected. Because those negative things are being transferred by the body to the mind, or from the mind to the body. Both ways it happens. But majority of the transfer takes place from mind to the body. So if at all we have to come out, this is a very important statement, that if at all people, particularly the young people who are now prone to more amount of stress and depressions and tensions in the present world, because of the job, because of the family situation, they are more prone to the tension and stress-filled life, and they are unable to come out of it, or they, if at all they seek a remedy from the medicines, they get themselves further spoiled, and but without any tangible results at all. Maybe temporary results are achieved, but they are not the results at all. It will never be done by this thing, because you see, the basis of medicine in the Western world, that is allopathy medicine, is a research on other things, analysis done about the mind and how the mind is, taking care of all these things. So they have done a lot of things, study about the mind and so many things. But our way of looking at it is that we should not do anything with the mind. We should go beyond the mind and try to find out and whether this can be set right. For that we have to go beyond the mind. It is difficult to do anything by sitting within the mind to do it on our own. Sitting inside the mind, we cannot do anything. Only we can understand what is there and try to get some small remedies out of it. But to do a total revamp, if you want to do a total revamp of the mind, you have to go beyond the mind and then start doing things. When you have to go beyond the mind, that means I mean only by that, don't think about the past and don't imagine about the future. If you don't do that, both, then you are beyond the mind. As simple as that. Going beyond the mind is, thought to be something which is high, supernatural and superhuman and divine. Nothing of the sort. It's all in our hands. If we don't talk about the past, if we don't talk about the future, if we do not recall from the past, if we do not visualize the future, you are beyond the mind. Because the mind is made up of only that. The mind is made up of only that. So, by simply, detaching yourself from the past and the future, you are going beyond the mind. You are going beyond the mind. And if you are going beyond the mind, then only you are going to find out about the reality. That will take you. See, we achieve a temporary result. See, as far as the younger generation is concerned, what is required is they have to be free from stress and tension and all that. Depressions and all that. That is what is immediately required. That is what an immediate remedy is sought for. And if it is done, they are happy. And in fact, for that purpose, what they do is they go to the other way. They downgrade themselves by consuming liquor, drug and medicine and all that. That is not the way. That is not the remedy at all. You only get a temporary relief, because by taking them, you get into another world where you feel sort of happy. You are not happy there. There you lose your mind, and without the mind, without those problems, and you feel as if you are in a different world where there are no problems which are facing you. You feel, some hallucination, some dream like, something like. That will not take you anywhere. Maybe it is only for a time being. For the time being, you are there, but you are downgrading yourself. Worse than that is downgrading your own facilities, the mental facilities. You see, if you all of us understand that if you continuously go on taking these allopathy medicines, they are creating a side effects. In the long process, what happens is they even damage the parts of the body because it is foreign to the body. The medicines which you consume is foreign to the body, and the body is not tuned to receive it at all. Our system is not designed in such a way to receive these manufactured items, that too particularly chemicals. So because of that, they only cause harm. So instead of getting stuck in that particular vicious cycle, what you should do is the youngsters should know. Now they should know. Yes, this is the best method. Without any medicine, without any practice, without any very serious meditative practices, or without any serious yogic practices, I can win over my mind. I can win over my mind, and thereby I will get myself relieved from all the stress and tension and depressions, which the youngsters can do. What is required? Do not deal with the past and present. Do not deal with the past and present. For the entire day, do it. Do it step by step. Of course, there are other, supporting factors and all that. We will come to it later, but they are only supporting factors. But essentially, you should take a decision not to involve yourself with the past or with the future. Let us live in the present. We will go forward. Thank you.